Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our monthly Funded Fast Chat. This is our 7th installment. We appreciate your time, and we hope we can continue to bring project financing information that is both helpful and in a brief format. Just a couple of housekeeping items. Please note that your microphones have all been muted upon joining the call. If you have any questions at all during the presentation, please use your chat box to submit them at any time. We will do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. Also, if there's anyone that is not at their computers that is joining via telephone only, there will be some time at the end of the presentation for you to ask your questions as well. Lastly, we want to know who's joining us. So I'm going to take just a quick moment to survey the attendee list for anyone we don't recognize. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone we don't recognize has joined us this morning. So without any further delay, I'm going to jump right into our topic. So we're going to focus on one of the SJV CEO's internal offerings, the Municipal Energy Tune-Up Program, or as we call it, METU. The METU program is the solution to your energy questions. So what does that mean? Well, the METU program is a turnkey approach to project management, which includes a circuit energy manager, because most organizations are not able to dedicate a whole staff to execute their energy projects. Through METU, we're able to do all of your data analytics. So data analytics is a really fancy word for energy benchmarking and usage analysis. That information allows us to identify and prioritize your projects to build your pipeline. Once those projects have been identified, METU will help you manage them from cradle to grave. So what about this project pipeline? If you're joining us from your computer, you can see on the screen a sample readiness report. This report is generated once we've had an opportunity to analyze your energy usage. It includes graphs and charts illustrating where your energy savings opportunities are. We also include, as part of this report, a breakdown of the available funding opportunities that are out there that would fit best with your project. This report really is meant to be kind of a roadmap that shows where you're spending the most money on energy and where your project opportunities lie. So even after the readiness report, if you're still not sure where to start, METU can also provide advanced audit services for eligible projects. Those audits identify more details about where the potential projects are. So this sounds like a lot of work, right? How does this get paid for? Well, METU is a PG&E funded program. So there's zero out-of-pocket costs for METU services for local governments, for school districts, and for special districts, as long as they're PG&E customers. So one of the most important questions that we need to ask when we're going to execute a project is, how are we going to fund the energy efficiency equipment? So as many of us know, the regulatory environment is changing, and that means there aren't as many rebates or incentive offerings as there had been once upon a time. So what is our solution to that? Well, we have to get really creative. So often funding projects funding for projects must be leveraged across many different sources. So a really great example of this is a custom project that we were able to do with the city of Avenal. Their Veterans Memorial Hall is a facility that's used very heavily by the community. They they prepare meals for needy people. They have activities for seniors there. It's an after-school program, or it houses an after-school program for kids. So the building is very busy. And during an audit that the METU program provided, we discovered that this facility had absolutely zero insulation. Insulation is a really significant money saver and generally has a very short payback period. But as some people might already know, it carries a really hefty upfront price tag. So we were actually able to leverage funding from 3 different entities besides the city to pay for that insulation. So we used program funding from METU to pay for the energy audits that I spoke of a second ago. We also used grant funding from PG&E for community education and outreach about the project. Finally, we also used foundation funding from the wonderful company which supported installation of the energy efficiency measures. So just by installing insulation in the ceiling and in the floor crawl space of that facility, we were able to save the city of Avenal over 40% of their annual energy costs for that particular facility. That's huge for a small community like Avenal. So let us save money for you. Please remember that METU services are absolutely free for local governments, special districts, and school districts that are PG&E customers, and we would love to work with you. You can contact us. Our contact information is on the screen, but just for those of you who may be just calling in, our telephone numbers is 877-748-0841, or you can shoot us a quick email at metu@sjvceo.org. I would also like for you to, I would like to invite you to check out the METU website, www.municipaltuneup.org. Right now, I would like to pause for just a few moments to give those folks an opportunity to ask any questions if you have any questions or comments about the program. I'll go ahead and unmute your mics so you can have a moment to do that.
Hi, Rochelle. This is Sarah. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to how somebody outside of PG&E territory could take advantage of such a program or similar services, and then maybe dive a little bit deeper into how you determine the savings for the Avenal project and what was included in the measure installation.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sarah. The first part of your question, the METU program is PG&E funded, so we do focus primarily on PG&E customers. However, if you are outside of that territory, we're available to help you find resources like the METU program that can help you accomplish the same thing. So if you're not a PG&E customer, don't worry, it's not the end of the road. There are other resources out there and we're happy to help you find them. The second part of Sarah's question had to do with how we determined energy savings for the Veterans Memorial Hall in Avenal. We completed the actual project in December of 2017. So we had an entire 12 months to look at their energy usage and how that project affected their energy usage. If anyone's familiar with the city of Avenal or with the Central Valley as a whole, we generally get very hot in the summertime, and so there's very heavy cooling load. When we compared the summertime months in the Veterans Memorial Hall in Avenal, when we compared those to previous years, in most cases, it was at least 40% less than what they had been spending in years prior. And in some cases, even a little bit more. So that was pretty awesome, significant savings. And then lastly, that project, we say insulation very loosely. We did attic insulation in the ceiling, the attic space, and also floor insulation, but along with that insulation, we also installed what's called a radiant barrier, which goes even further to seal off any potential air leakages, or it just makes the insulation work that much more efficiently. And also all of the ductwork in the attic was surveyed just to make sure there wasn't any leakages or anything like that. So, you know, you're not losing, you know, air from the air conditioner or from the heater in that attic space, and it's not going toward cooling the space. So all of that was included in the project itself. Okay, does that answer your question, Sarah? Did you have any other questions?
That was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And it looks like I don't see any more questions coming through. If anything comes up after the call, please, I would like to invite you to connect with us. Our contact information is on the screen. You can reach us through Twitter or through email or on any of our websites. We will post a recording of this chat on our SJV CEO website right after the call. So if you weren't able to join us this morning, no worries. This information will be available later. Also, we'll be taking a very brief break in January, but the Fast Chat will return in February for our next installment. So please keep an eye out for more information on that in the coming weeks from us. Thank you everybody again for joining us this morning and for your time, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Have a great day.